And so I remember I went online. This is when the internet was first around, okay? I'm showing my age right now. Oof. The internet was first around, and I remember literally going online and looking up a makeup school. And I was like, I want to go here. So I had them send me like brochures and stuff for the makeup academy,
Okay.
or it was a makeup school. And my mom, like, I got home and she ripped it up. She's like, absolutely not. You're going to college. You're not going to makeup school.
Let's do it. With that being said, welcome back to another episode of La Vida Podcast. Can you be kind to introduce yourself to the viewers? Let them know who you are.
Yes. My name is Roxanne. I'm the owner of Glow Makeup Academy in Downey, California.
Can you please let them know a little bit about yourself? What's your background? And
Sure.
all of that.
Yeah. So I am first generation Mexican American on my mom's side. My mom's from Guadalajara, and then my dad is from Boyle Heights.
Boyle Heights.
Yeah.
Nice. How was
hmm
your youth?
My youth was good. I grew up in Pomona.
Okay.
So I, was just living life out there until my parents decided that it was getting a little bit too rough out there.
Okay.
And then they moved me out to a little city called Lake Elsinore.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
So that's why I talk like a white girl.
A little different.
I talk like a white girl now, but yeah. So
So how was your upbringing growing up and like Elsinore being, Hispanic, Mexican?
oh my gosh, it was actually hard.
Really?
My mom told me that, like, I don't really remember this, but I came home from school like 3rd grade,
Yeah.
and she was like, "You were crying. You were like, there's no black people, there's no Hispanic people." I was literally the only Mexican girl in my class at that time. Mhm.
Did that impact you growing up, or how was your?
You know what? It did, because I feel like I was secluded.
Okay.
Like, the Hispanic people didn't like me because I didn't look Hispanic enough, and then
Okay.
the white people knew I wasn't white. So I was very, like, to myself a lot, you know? Yeah,
Yeah.
so it did impact me, but I played sports as a kid, so I did, have, friends and stuff.
Okay. What
Yeah.
sport do you play?
I played softball.
Softball.
Yeah.
For how long?
Like 10 years.
Shit, that's a
I
long time.
know. I know, I was a pitcher. Yeah.
Nice. Good for
So,
you.
yeah.
So when you growing up and Lake Elsinore,
Mhm.
how was out there life? How did you eventually grow up? What was the whole situation?
Yeah, so I fell in love with makeup like a very early age,
Okay.
and my mom and my dad were like, absolutely not. Because
Yeah.
they're Mexican and they didn't want me to do like something that was a hobby
Okay.
in that time, right? We're talking back in the 90s
Okay.
that I started like being loving and passionate about makeup. And so I remember I went online. This is when the internet was first around, okay? I'm showing my age right now. Oof. The internet was first around, and I remember literally going online and looking up a makeup school. And I was like, I want to go here. So I had them send me like brochures and stuff for the makeup
Okay.
academy, or it was a makeup school. And my mom, like, I got home and she ripped it up. She's like, absolutely not. You're going to college. You're not going to makeup school.
Wow.
And she was like, "No, absolutely not." And I was like, "Okay." So, that dream was like crushed, and I was so sad. I remember crying and stuff, but I didn't let that like take me on a different path. I
Okay.
still loved makeup, and although I thought like, "Okay, I have to go to school now and do makeup." Um, so then from there I turned 18, I got a job at Mac, and
Mhm.
I was there for 11 years
Okay.
until 2017.
Wow.
Yeah, I graduated, high school a year early too,
Okay.
because I didn't wanna be at school anymore. I wanted to hustle, I wanna make money. Hello? So, yeah, I just did that, high school, Mac, and then, I moved out at 19. Yeah,
How was that a big change for you?
huge. Yeah.
Huge.
Yeah, but I wanted to do makeup.
Okay.
I was like, "I don't care, I'm gonna do makeup." So I was in school, but my parents actually sent me to the makeup school that I originally wanted to go to. They
Okay.
did send me.
Okay.
And so, I was 19. I was at Mac for a year. They didn't promote me, so I was like, "I'm out of here. I'm gonna go to school." So I went to makeup school.
Okay.
I went for about a year, I was doing freelance on the side at like Mac,
Okay.
going to school during the week. Weekends I was working, and so then from there I just started getting clients, and that's how it all started.
Nice.
Yeah.
So how was the process with Mac? How did you got involved with that?
So I did 6 interviews to be a cashier
Just for Mac?
just for Mac.
Wow.
That one position, yeah. And so it was hard to get a job there, but it was what I wanted to do,
Okay.
really, really bad. And so then, yeah, I eventually got the job and I was a cashier and I was there for about a year. hmm
Nice.
And I wanted to do makeup, but they wouldn't let me.
Why Mac?
You know what? It is such a staple brand in so many makeup artist kits. And I feel like a lot of us actually start there at that brand
Okay.
that want to do something big. The other Patrick from One Size, he started at Mac. There's so many different artists that started at that company. And so
Okay.
I just feel like it was a really good base for me to start because I was working on Black girls, I was working on Hispanic girls, Indian, Asian, white. I was working on every single ethnicity that you could possibly think of.
Okay.
And as a makeup artist, when you're doing makeup for everybody, that's where your skills really get locked in because you're not just doing one race, you're doing everybody.
Everybody.
Yeah.
So how is that process by you getting involved with Mac? Do they teach you how to eventually do the makeup for certain skin and stuff like that? Can
Mhm.
you collaborate with that more?
Yeah. So Mac does that. I also learned it in school as well.
Okay.
So, yeah, essentially what you do is it's like my school, right? You come to class for 6 weeks and you do makeup on different people. But if you don't continue to do the makeup, you start to lose the skill. It's
Okay.
like riding a bike, right?
Yeah.
You can always redo it and like do it good, but the more you do it, the better you get.
Okay.
So that's essentially why I went to Mac and why I worked there for so long because every single time I would work, I'd get better at what I did. I was better at sales. I was better at makeup application, right? So it helped me grow a lot. And
Correct.
it also helped me to run this business too. I take some of the stuff that I learned there,
hmm
the protocols of like management and stuff, and I implement it here.
Nice.
So
So you worked with Mac for 10 years, and at one point you chose to eventually part away and start making your own business, right?
yeah.
How did that came to life?
Oh my gosh. Okay. So I was, I don't know if I should talk about this. Talk about my ex?
However you feel comfortable. However you
I
feel.
don't want him to have any spotlight. Just
Okay.
kidding. No, I think it is important though because like, okay, so I was with somebody
hmm
at the time, my ex-fiance, and I was okay, so I left Mac and I started to do real estate because my ex at the time was like, "You have to get a big girl job. Like you can't be doing makeup
Okay.
forever. You can't be at the retail spot like doing makeup." So I was like, "Okay, let me go into real estate, right?" So I get in and it's okay. It's not my favorite because I love what I do,
Correct.
right? So I'm in bed, sad every day, crying because it's just, I'm not happy. I'm not happy with him. I'm not happy, like in life, and I'm making money, but I'm not happy. And so I'm like, this is not me. I'm a happy person like all the time. I don't have to drink. I don't do drugs or anything. Like, I'm always a super happy
hmm
person. And so he's like, "What do you want to do? Why are you so depressed?" And da da da. And I was like, I think I want to do a makeup academy. Like, I see all these makeup academies popping up on Instagram, and like, I could do this better. And he's like, "Are you sure?" And I was like, "Yeah. Hello. Hello, I can do better." So, I ended up selling a couple homes, like 4,
Okay.
and I took my money and I put it into my first business with no savings, no nothing.
Nice.
Nothing at all. Just a dream.
That's how it
Praying to
starts.
God that it was gonna work.
That's how we start with a dream. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? We,
Yeah. But here's the thing. When I was growing this business, because I've been in business now since 2019, when I was growing it, it's hard to manage a relationship and building a business. Like people don't really understand that you can't do both. Like it's almost impossible. Because how are you going to be able to give yourself to someone, your energy, your time, your all, while you're trying to do that with a business
true.
too? It was just too hard. So, but we had our, ups and downs and whatever. And so at that point, I just called it off in like
Everybody part
2020.
way.
Yeah.
And then once you took the decision, you were like, "This is my passion. I'm gonna go 100% to this academy." And how was that process? Slowly, how did it took you? What was the whole situation when you started the business?
Um, so I started the business and I was working every day, 7 days a week from 9 a.m. to 10 p.m.
Wow.
every day by myself. Mhm.
By
By
yourself.
myself. Yeah. I didn't have any money to have staff, you know? And so people see what we have today and they're like, "Oh, they've got it made." And it's like, honestly, my first probably 2 years in business, it was just me by myself doing it. And I was really shy to get on camera at that time. I don't like to be the center. I don't like to be the center of attention. I get a little shy, you know?
Yeah.
But I did realize that once I put myself out there, my business started taking off a lot more because they want to get to know me. They want to know the story that's behind Glow. They understand that like I'm a Mexican girl from LA that came from nothing, you know? And so they almost use that as like their inspiration. So I understand now, but back then I was very shy. Relationships, building relationships with clients, um, building relationships with staff, artistry as well, a lot of my artistry work and stuff that came from Mac. So all of that stuff like combined and then also having like knowing how to run the business cuz there were times where I was like an opener, you know, I have to count the money. I have to make sure that all of the supplies are checked, you know, inventory, making sure that everybody knows their lunches, their schedule, like all that stuff. It helped me today to do what I'm doing now.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Is how do you, what will be the proper word? How do you deal with disappointments currently with your business?
I'm the type of person that really doesn't get attached to outcomes. And I've learned that over the years. I'll just give you an example. We print out workbooks here at Glow.
Okay.
And there's been times where the workbooks aren't available, like they didn't get printed on time
Mhm.
and they're late to come to the studio. And I think I know a normal person would just have a meltdown because it's the first day of class and you want it to be perfect and all this stuff, right? And so there's been times where that happens, or like the kits won't come in on time because they do come from Canada, right?
Mhm.
So there's little things like that that stuff just doesn't happen and you just have to let it go, you know? I know people that will freak out like over stuff like that, you know? And it's
Correct.
like I don't have control over it, so guess what? We're letting it go. Because why am I going to now create a weird experience for my students because I'm in a bad mood
Yeah.
that this didn't come? You know what
Correct.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I've learned to detach from outcomes, if that makes
Makes
sense.
sense.
Yeah.
Makes a lot of sense.
Mm.
What
No.
was your expectation at the beginning? Just be a makeup artist and that's it?
Honestly, I just wanted to be a business. I didn't even care if it like worked or not. I just
Yeah.
wanted to make a little bit of money and do what I love, you know? So I didn't expect it to grow to what it is now. We technically have two campuses right now and it's just I didn't have any expectation for this, you know what I mean? And I almost feel like that's better because I've had other like small businesses in the past where I'm like, I need to make X amount of money and I need to do this and this and that, and it never
And it
worked.
worked
It
out.
didn't work.
Correct.
And now that I have this, I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing, you know, like it's what I love to do and I get paid for it, you
True.
know?
Because you don't see it as a job because this is what you love. You know what I mean?
No, I love it. Yeah.
That's nice. You were telling a story about one of your students, that he was going through hard times in
Mhm.
life. Can you collaborate more
Yeah.
regarding that?
Sure. So my student, I'm sure she wouldn't mind me sharing her story, but she lost her husband very suddenly. It was her husband from, you know, her high school years. And she was supposed to start class the next day. And she's like, I don't know how to say this, but I lost my husband. And I'm like, my heart dropped, you know? And so from there, took her a couple of weeks to come back, but she's like, "I need to be here with you. I need to be here in this classroom with my friends and my peers, you know?"
Hmm.
And so she just kept going and doing makeup and she was like, "This is my therapy. This is where I need to be." And I'm
Nice.
like, "Okay, that's amazing," you know? So I tell everybody it's more than makeup. It
Right.
really is. It's like the community that we have here is like a sisterhood. All the girls work together, they hang out after class. You know, their kids are friends now and it's just really, really beautiful. I'm so lucky that I've been able to start something like this. You know what I mean? Cuz like I don't know anything else that happens like this where there's a strong community of, like, women that get together and do makeup and have fun, and I don't know of anything else like this, you know?
Nice. So at the end of the day, it's not just a makeup academy. It's an area where your students, females, feel safe. They're able to talk about their problems, so you guys can help each other and all of the above.
All of the above, yeah. It's
Gorgeous.
fun.
That's nice, definitely. How many of your students have eventually part way and they have make their own business?
So I wanna say about 90% of my graduates are working,
Hmm.
but maybe, like, 10 have their own studios now.
Nice.
Yeah, that's a big thing. Because I know for a fact that I know for a fact there are no makeup academies that have that type of, record of students, because I'm a makeup artist,
Yeah,
right? And I love what I do, and I feel like I put that out into the girls, and I'm like, "You need to open your own glow. You need to do your own thing," I'm not, like, sitting there in competition with them. I'm like, "You guys need to grow and do your thing," you know?
I understand.
Yeah.
Trying to help them so become someone in life at the end of the
Mhm.
day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let him fly.
Let them fly, 100%. I know that there's other places that are very, like, they try to keep the girls, or the artists, and they try to, make it so that they're not, like, thriving, and I'm
Mhm.
like, "Why would you do that?" I love when my girls are doing stuff. I love when they blow up on TikTok. I'm like, "Hell yeah. That's tight," you know?
Yeah,
It's my favorite.
that's good.
Mhm.
You want to share the shine as well, you know.
Yeah.
Um, you were saying that earlier as well that you share some of the chairs with your students. How does that work?
Yeah. So outside of the classroom here, there's vanities that we have set up for the students, and they are welcome to come in here and do makeup on clients for free. So I don't charge them.
Wow.
Yeah, like as a booth rental or
Yeah.
whatever. So I have a girl here and she does like 9 or 10 clients a day and she's making like $1,000,
Mm.
and I don't charge her anything on that.
Wow.
It's because I remember being a young artist and not having anywhere to go. I remember being a young artist and, having to lug my stuff over to somebody's house, unsafe. I don't know who they are.
True.
Oh, I got your number from so and so. I'm like, I don't know who that is. I don't remember, you know? So it's a safe space for them too. Like they meet their clients here. I've had girls tell me somebody is contacting me and they're coming from Palmdale and I don't know who they are. I'm like, yeah, that's weird.
Wow.
But they come, they're safe,
Yeah.
it's a good place.
Safe place at the end
Safe
of the day.
place. Yeah.
How
Yeah.
many employees you currently have?
We have about 7 employees right now at both campuses. Yeah.
Wow.
Mhm.
7 employees starting from nothing, from scratch. You working 12, 16 hours a day. Now you have 7 employees.
Yeah.
That's a big milestone.
Yeah, thank you.
You know what I mean? I think we don't see, again, we go back to the same point that we don't give enough credit because now you have someone, another person that eventually you are helping that person to pay their rent,
Mhm.
you
Yeah.
know, get food on the table and stuff
Mhm.
like that. And I feel that overall, congratulations on what you have created, from a dream to eventually something that came through, it's
Mhm.
life and
Thank you.
creating a safe space for you, for your business, and for the females that are here, overall learning from you and all of the good stuff.
Thank you.
What's personal values that are most important for you?
Mm. In business or in life?
Both.
Los dos.
Those.
Um, Values for me that are very, very important is, um, honesty. I feel like that's really important to me. Loyalty is very important too, because at the end of the day, you know, honesty and loyalty, they kind of go hand in hand, you know. Um when you okay, there's a saying. It's like you don't want to work with somebody, like a man who's cheating on their wife, because at the end of the day that's supposed to be his best friend, his backbone. Like, and he's doing her wrong. Do you get what I'm saying? Like,
Understand.
so it's like that's where I draw the line with certain things. Like if I know that somebody's not loyal or they're not trustworthy or something, um, we'll be cool, but we're not that cool.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's
Yeah.
just
It's at a distance, yeah. And you have to treat people like that until, for me, I'm the type of person that I will give you the opportunity until you show me that I can't. trust you anymore.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
What motivates you nowadays?
Ugh, I don't know. I love what motivates
Yeah,
me is honestly, I really, really want to be able to take care of my mom because she's 62 now. I'm 37. She's 62. And I want to be able to give her like a nice life during her retirement, you know?
I understand.
That's what I want to do for her.
That's
Mhm.
nice. Growing up and going to school and overall growing up, did you had any mentors that you said, I want to be like her or something like that? Is there anyone that you felt that you want to follow the steps?
No.
No.
Mm-mm.
That was that was
No.
just you and
It was just me and my ganas.
yeah,
But you know what? Honestly, I tell people all the time, I'm like, if I were to have a mentor or somebody that I looked up to, would have wanted it to be someone like me, you know? And I
yeah,
feel like I grew up into that, which I love, um, because I didn't have anybody, you know? I had nobody at all. So that's where I feel like I needed to fill those shoes for other people.
makes sense.
Yeah. Hmm.
Makes sense. How do you want people to remember you?
Honestly, I want people to remember me for just being like a cool person, like nice.
Hmm.
Um, not trying to take advantage of people. Like, cause when you're in business, a lot of times people just do it to, get money, take advantage, like this and that. And I want to be known for actually being able to help people.
That's
That's like
nice.
my main thing.
That's good, right?
Hmm. Yeah,
Because everything that you do good, everything comes back good to you. If you do it
absolutely.
bad, you know,
Same thing.
it goes
Hmm.
both ways.
Yeah.
And I feel that's why your business is blooming because at the end of the day, you're doing things right, and your students and everybody else eventually they love to be here with you. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Definitely
It's taken time though. That's the thing. Doing it the right way takes longer than doing it the other way.
true.
Like the fast way, Like I'm taking my time with it and it is growing, so that's good, but it's taking a lot longer for
Definitely.
sure. My end goal is to be a sugar baby. Just kidding. That's the end goal. I'm tired of working.
Oh,
Okay, anyways, just kidding.
sheesh.
My end goal, okay. So my end goal honestly would be to still have my business and then have a family. That's essentially what I want to do and that's what I'm working towards.
Hmm.
I am working towards kind of trying to get out of this. Not necessarily close glow, but still have it, have my employees run it and then be able to have that second part of life, right? Because I'm at my age, I'm 37 like I said,
Still young.
and still young, but the window's closing, you know? So I'm like, okay, I have to now make adjustments. Um, so that's the end goal to be a wife, to be a mother, and be able to give, raise cool humans, but then also still have this,
Yeah,
you know?
have your baby. Well, you
Yeah.
already have a baby
Have this
business.
baby. Have this baby. I want a real one though.
There you go.
I
That's nice. How do you deal with regrets or mistakes?
learned from them. Yeah. I don't know if I have too many regrets, honestly. Every single thing that I have done that was like a mess up or a failure or whatever has gotten me to where I'm at today. So I don't necessarily like take it too hard. Of course I'm a human though, right? And
Yeah,
I have emotions and stuff but I allow that to I always pray, right? I'm pretty religious. So I pray and I'm like, "Hey, like if you want something better for me, then this is what it is." And I accept it and I understand it. And I try not to force things, you know? So,
you embrace the process.
mhm, yeah, even if it's not the way I want it. It's fine, I guess.
What has been your biggest battle in life?
My biggest battle?
Yeah,
Mm. My self-worthiness, I feel like. Yeah, because I feel like I felt in the past. I felt like I wasn't worthy of having a business.
interesting.
I wasn't worthy of like, finding a good man. I wasn't worthy of like these things, And now that I have what I have and I and I have my business and I help all these people, I'm like oh my gosh, I'm like so worthy of
Of
this,
course.
and I know a lot of women struggle with that self-worthiness because they put others first and they forget about themselves, which is hard. But at the end of the day, if you're happy as a woman, you can show up happy for your partner, you can show up happy for your kids. And so I think that that's something that us women need to work on in general, especially us as Latinas. I feel like we put ourselves second all the time, whether that's like with siblings, with family. And so that's something that we all need to work on
Hmm.
as women. And so, you know, it's but you find your value in doing what you love, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I know that, like I said, when I was really depressed and I didn't do what I loved, like I was
You were not yourself.
deprimida,
Yeah.
like super bad, like crying, not showing up for myself, not showing up for, my partner at the time. Like, you're not getting ready anymore. You're not feeling good anymore.
What helped you to break that chain? What helped you to open your eyes and say, that's not me, it's not healthy for me, for the people around me? What what eventually helped you to make the decision?
I literally just was sick and tired of my own shit. Can I cuss?
Of course.
Okay. I was sick and tired of my own shit, honestly.
Yeah.
And I feel like you have to get like that. I've been like that with my fitness. I've been like that with my life. I feel like when you are truly happy with who you are, that's when you can show up. But if you're eating like crap, you're not working out, you're just not being you,
Hmm.
then you're not able to show up. And so I had to get sick and tired of my own shit in order to get my shit together. So
So you said,
I'm done. I'm tired. I'm tired of feeling sad. I'm tired of being like chubby. I want to grow a fatter ass. Like, you have to get in the gym to do
of
all that
course,
stuff, you
yeah,
know? You have to eat right. You have to all that stuff plays into showing up every day.
most definitely. What it has, what is the best advice that you have received?
Mhm. The best I'll tell you the best advice that I give.
Hmm.
Yeah. The best advice that I give to people is that not all money is good money.
True.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
what I tell my girls, because 'Cause they're like, "This person is haggling me over, I'm charging 100 and they want me to charge 50." I'm like, "That's not your client." And what happens, they end up giving in to the cheaper price, and that client ends up being the biggest headache. And so I'm like, No, you either meet me at my rate or you don't, and you're not my client. That's
And
okay."
that's when it comes appreciation of yourself, right?
Yes, absolutely, 100%.
Understanding that I'm worthy, this is what I do, and
Mhm.
this is what I like, and this is how much it's gonna cost you for me to
Yeah,
work for you.
100%.
You
Yeah.
know, but it's a slow process, like you said. We have to understand where we're standing as an individual,
Mhm.
and then learn from it, and
Yes.
admit our mistakes and
Mhm.
embrace them.
Yeah.
And then once that is established, I think we need to appreciate ourselves
Mhm.
to eventually move forward.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's a slow process, but eventually it can happen.
Oh, yeah.
You're here as a
Mhm.
my witness.
Yeah. And
Good.
surrounding yourself with people that see that value
Yeah.
too, right? Like, being able to be like, "You know what? I can charge this much. Like, why can't I?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is how do you describe peace right now at this moment?
Being alone. Honestly. Um, okay. So peace for me is not having that like stress and worry about how things are going to turn out. Like I said, I really just let things go and let God do his thing, and I'm like, okay, if it works out for me, great. If it doesn't, that's okay too. But it does take a lot for me to let somebody in as well because I need that person to be my peace, right? And so if I have a lot of peace within myself, I pray a lot, I pray my rosary every night, and I've just found that connection like with God and
Hmm.
being okay with whatever is happening. And again, not having all that noise and like, oh, my time is ticking and I have to go do this and oh, I have to do that. Like, it's like the process is going to work out however it's supposed to work out and being like okay and again at peace with that. It's called surrender. That's what I really feel like I've done over the last maybe 4 years or so now. Mhm.
It took a while for you to understand the process and
Yeah.
go through life and
Mhm.
embrace it, right?
Yeah. Absolutely. 100%. Yeah.
Regarding the process, what is the stage when a student comes to you and it says, "I would like to learn how to do makeup,"
Mhm.
and as you know, female skin is different tones, stuff like that,
Mhm.
acne and all of the above. How is that process for someone that is going to view this, and how would that process will start?
So they would come in, and I really try to get to know my students to even see if we're going to be a good fit for them,
Interesting.
or if they're going to be a good fit with us, right? Because again, not all money is good money.
Smart.
So I try to get to know them and see what they want to do with this,
Hmm.
and I also see how serious they are,
Okay.
because I feel like we are serious here with what we do. Again, like 90% of my girls are working. So I want to help people. I want to help people that want to be helped, you know?
Hmm.
Right? Because it's
Of course.
you can lead a horse to water, but it's not gonna drink. I mean, it's not gonna drink.
Yeah, of
So
course.
I don't wanna be dealing with people who are gonna waste my time or waste the time of my instructors, because we are all very knowledgeable, and so, time is money.
Exactly.
So I interview students, I see if they're a good fit, and then we go from there. And usually, we'll start them off with the basic beauty class. That way, they get to know skin tones, skin types, like you said, like acne, oily, dry, and then we just start them there at the basics. And then they have the advanced class. They have special effects. They have hair. We have a little bit of everything.
Nice, nice.
Yeah.
So it's a stage going through this process and overall getting involved with your academy.
Mhm.
Want to make sure that you guys are compatible, right?
Absolutely. We need to make sure we align.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So the evolution of makeup has been insane since 2006 to 2025. That's literally today. It's almost been 20 years, but honestly, it's amazing how things have changed so much. Contour, highlight, lashes, everything is so different from when I first started, but at the same time it's very similar. But we adjust accordingly. We are constant, even us, we're constantly learning new techniques, new products. My girls are constantly showing me new products. Like I'm an older lady, like, and I like how we are.
Mhm.
We like our stuff the way it is, right? And I'm a creature of habit. I don't like change too much. But when I start to like use new products, I'm like, oh my gosh, what is this? So technology has changed significantly with regard to makeup. We've been lucky in a sense that things are so much better now than they were back then. And it's been it's been eye-opening to say the least. Like I never thought that makeup when I was started in 2006 would be where it's at today. Like it's night and day. It's been amazing. Yeah.
If any of your viewers has lost their ways, what will be your advice to them?
They need to get right with God first. I think that they need to focus on their inner peace first and foremost. Stop looking outside for validation, for compliment. Oh, that's validation technically, but just validation in general, and just figure out who you are, right? Like how I said, I was depressed and I was sad. I needed to figure out who I was before I could give myself to everybody else. So I think that that's really important. You have to know who you are. If you lose your way, you have to get right, centered, grounded, and then you can go ahead and start to make your moves with regard to how you're going to make yourself happy.
Makes sense.
You can't rely on anybody else to make you happy.
Only you.
Only you.
Only you.
You can't.
Nobody else.
No.
I think you have a point there, yeah. Because if I'm not happy with it, me, then nobody else is gonna make me happy.
No one's going to make you happy.
Yeah.
Not a baby, not a marriage, nothing.
Makes sense. Makes a
Yeah.
lot of sense. Where do you see yourself 5 years from now?
Married. Married with children traveling the world.
There you go.
Yeah, probably married him. I freaking hope.
You will. I mean, it's a process, you
Yeah.
have to make sure that I feel that you need to have the right person that is going to support you, help you. Overall, support. Support is a one part, like you said it, from the get-go,
Mhm.
from our previous conversation, that an individual not just be there as, like a chair,
No, I don't need somebody there. I need you to help me.
just
Yeah.
overall be telling you that things are gonna be right and they're gonna help each other and then go up and down together.
Yeah,
I
for
feel that would
sure.
be the
Live
way
life
to piece,
together.
right?
Yeah.
Definitely.
So my business, we have a relationship with Mac, right? So it's really cool. No other makeup academy in Southern California actually has what we have here. So with regard to where Mac is now and where it was when I started in like the early 2000s, it's very similar, but it's very different. I've been lucky because a lot of my students will apply at Mac stores and they see they come from Glow. We're already using the products. They're already training in how to apply makeup. They know what's in the products. Like that's what we teach here. And so a good amount of my alumni go and work for Mac right away, which is super cool. Back in the early 2000s, it was very it was very artistry based. And right now I feel like it's more relationship based, which obviously is very important because social media, you have to create those relationships,
Correct.
right? So Mac is still up there with regard to um, products. Their products are absolutely amazing. They're innovative. They're still really good. We love them here. We have all of our kits are from Mac, so that's what a big selling point in my makeup academy that we have that like partnership with them because at the end of the day when you walk outside of my doors and you want to start doing makeup, if you have like cheap brand stuff in your kit, you can't charge as much, right? You're not
Sure.
using
No,
the
makes
best
sense.
stuff.
Makes sense.
So the students walk out of here with great products.
Correct.
They're able to charge more money and people see, "Oh, Mac is in their kit. Oh, I trust them." Right?
Correct.
So, it's just like a win-win all around with regard to being like partnered with them. So, yeah,
So overall, it has helped you for your business to be
so much.
growing and blooming at the same
Yeah,
time.
definitely.
That's nice.
Mhm.
How was your encounter with Mac the first time?
So I was at Mac for tons of years, right? And I used to work at this store called the Pro Store off Robertson in Beverly Hills. No longer there. Kim Kardashian would come in, uh, everybody. There were like senators there, like all kinds of people would come in because it was like the Pro Store. It was
Yeah.
where all the celebrities would go. And so I used to work there as a freelance makeup artist, and I worked there with the woman who is in charge of artist relations for Mac. And so one day, 2 years into me owning Glow, I approached her because I was like, I my first year in business, I wanted to approach her, but I was like, there I have no record. I have no nothing, like so I'm not gonna approach somebody with that's a big name brand and have nothing going on.
Hmm.
So at this point, I have my second location already. It's 2021 now. So I'm about 2.5 years into 19, 20, I'm about 2 years into having Glow. And so I write her an email and I'm like, "Hi, do you remember me?" And I kid you not, I cried. I cried pushing send because I was so scared.
Wow.
And I was like, "What's the worst she can say? No? Like, what's the worst you can say? No. Ah." But still, I think that at that time, my ego was still really involved in what I do. And so I was just scared of like rejection. And I was like, dude, what are you crying? The worst she could say is no. So then she emailed me back and she was like, "Yeah, we'd love to help you." And I was like,
Sheesh.
"What?" So then we started getting like products. So that's why we have products in the studio and that's why we have that relationship now where we are able to get the kits for the students so that they come to class, they have the good stuff and then they're able to go work right away. We teach them color theory, we teach symmetry, we teach skin tone matching. We teach application of eyeshadow. We teach eyeliner. We teach eyeshadow, how to contour, how to highlight, how to make somebody's lips look bigger, how to how to create an eyebrow. I've had clients who have no eyebrows. They're cancer patients. They have no brows, and they're like, "It's my daughter's wedding. I might not make it after this," and you're like, "Oh my gosh, okay. Let's make you look amazing. So that's why I do what I do and I love what I do. We usually get a lot of traction on like TikTok and Instagram. Yeah. TikTok and Instagram is really where my business changed. So at the very beginning of having Glow, we did it old school. We printed flyers.
That was a way to do it.
That was a way to do it. That's all I knew, right? I was like, "Ugh, I don't know how to do this." Printed flyers, got like a old man to go put the flyers out in the
On the
cars, and
cars, yeah.
I'm just shooting my shot at everybody at that point, right? And I'm like, this isn't working. So then I started understanding Instagram ads. And I was like, okay. And so then I started understanding how to target market and really target the people that I wanted, women in their 20s, women in their 30s, people who wanted to be makeup artists. Like that's when my business took a shift. But also I moved from Maywood to Downey, and that's when we just blew up, where people were like, location is literally everything. When they tell
Correct.
you like location's everything, it really is. I'm right off the 5 freeway and like not too far from the 605 or the 710.
Correct.
So when people come to me and they want business advice, and I tell them, okay, where are you located? They're in a terrible shopping center. They're like in a weird place. I'm like, okay, it's not gonna work. Like you need to be convenient and
Yeah.
for people to get to you. So Instagram ads changed my life. Yeah, for sure.
At one point, did you ever felt that you want to give up and quit?
All the time. All the time. COVID was probably the worst time of my life. I didn't know how the hell we were gonna do it. I was only in business for a year.
Wow.
You know what's crazy is that I opened Glow the week of my birthday. My birthday is March 21st. And so I think I opened like the Friday before, which I think was the 19th of March. And that same week, 1 year later, we had to close our doors.
How do you cope with that? What was?
Cried a lot. I cried so much. I cried a lot, but, I made it work. I told the girls in class at the time, I'm like, "Do you guys wanna come in?" And they were like, "Yeah, we don't wanna do online classes." You don't learn anything from online classes. Like, you can't see people's eye shape, you can't really see their skin texture, like, you have to be hands-on for all that stuff. So, I was like, "If you guys don't mind coming in and we can be very safe, we're taking temperatures," artists were wearing masks, models were not wearing masks, but like, just being very, very safe with it. Everybody was like 6 feet apart. Um, and it was hard, but we made it work. There were sometimes we did Zoom calls or Zoom meetings. That was whack though. That was super whack. Terrible. But um yeah, so COVID was really hard for me, but we eventually made it out. Did we get loans? I think we got a loan, but it was like 7,000. 7,000 is nothing. Literally, that's like my bills in a month. So I don't really necessarily feel it was that. We moved from one location where I was paying like 2,000 and some change to a location where I was paying this one here like 1,200.
Wow.
Yeah. So it cut my rent like in half. And so I had to make those adjustments in order to still be in business today.
Survive and make
Yeah.
it better.
Mhm.
You had to improvise at the end of the day to
I
be
had
out
to
of hot
improvise.
water.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%, and at that time, I think I only had, like, 2 or 3 employees. So and I was trying to pick up slack too and, trying to help out how I could. I definitely feel like we teach different here because we do it with a lot of love, and we do it with passion, and we are all working makeup artists. I think that's the main thing about my staff is that we're all working. It's one thing to be on Instagram beating your own face every day and like doing you every day and making it look amazing. It's a different story when you're working with different people.
Different people, correct.
And so when people are looking for a makeup academy, I tell them, I'm like, these are the things you need to look for. What are the instructors doing? Are the instructors working artists or are they just Instagram famous? Instagram famous is
Yeah,
whatever.
makes sense.
I also ask them, you need to look at what the alumni is doing. Are the students being posted? Are the students working or graduates, right? Are they working? Have they started their own businesses? Like, what are the makeup academies doing for the students? You got to look at that too. And then, how are they supporting you? Are they allowing you to be in the studio with them, learning from them? Or are they just like, bye, see you later, see you never again? Another thing that I think that sets us apart as well is that we allow our students to come back in to do refresher classes for free. So if you took the class already, and let's say you took it with Ricky, and you're like, you know what, I really love the way Tony does makeup, then you can come in with Tony and her class, and you can learn from her, all her techniques, but it's all free. We do it with love. I tell everybody that, you know? And I think that it's hard for people to really wrap their brain around me being a business owner because I don't run my business with an iron fist. I love everybody. And if you show me that I can't love you anymore, then you got to go. But you know what I mean? Because it's so good here. That's the thing. Like it's almost so good that people don't want to do me wrong. Do you get what I'm
I
saying?
understand.
Because they know that it's going to
Yeah,
mess them up in the future.
correct.
And I like that. I like that better than, being a bitch. Like I can't do that. I could be a bitch though. Like for reals. I'm very mean if it comes down to it. But why would I want to be like that?
Correct.
That's not that good karma that we're
Yeah,
talking
it
about,
makes sense. You want them to feel safe and comfortable with you at the end of the day,
Yeah.
for them to share the word and come back if they
Yeah.
need to come back.
Hmm.
Smart. If if you had the opportunity of seeing the 10-year-old girl at that time that wanted to be a makeup artist, it was you.
Hmm.
What would be the advice that you give her to that 10-year-old girl?
I would tell her to not listen to anybody and just trust herself. Yeah. Trust yourself. That's the main thing about doing what I do. And especially in makeup, you just have to trust yourself. You trust the process. We tell clients, like, they're trying to look in the mirror all the time, look in the mirror. Trust the process. Like, don't look at the mirror. You're going to figure it out. We're going to make you look amazing, but don't look at how crazy you look with all this war paint on your face. You know what I mean? You just have
Yeah,
to trust the
it's a
process.
process, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't
Hmm.
happen overnight.
Yeah. And I think another thing too, for me, I would tell my 10-year-old self is that you don't have to have everybody's support in order to do what you know you were called to do. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
a lot of people are looking for that validation. I'm going to tell you right now, before I talk any shit, hold on. Not one of my family members has ever visited my location, ever. Cousins, yes. Aunts, no, ever. Mom or dad side.
Wow.
So again, it's like you don't need that validation. You don't need that support. You just have to have that dream and that drive to know that what you're doing is good, you know?
You need to love it. You need to like it.
Mhm. Yeah.
No matter what is going on outside the circle, as long as you're
Yeah.
comfortable within
Yeah.
the circle and happy, safe
Yeah.
overall.
I've created my own beautiful family. You know what
Correct.
I'm saying with my students and stuff.
Go ahead.
Of course, like, you want your family's approval and all
Yeah,
that stuff, but at the end of the day, like, if you don't get it, you shouldn't allow that to stop you from doing something bigger for other people,
makes
you
sense.
know?
Did that affect you by not having that relatives coming over and see the fruit that you have created, the
Mhm,
business that you had created,
mhm.
and you wanted, like you said, the validation from them, but it never came. Did that ever affect you? You ever doubt yourself, or like, shit, it's not working out, or it's not for me?
I never doubted myself, but I do wish that it happened. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've never doubted what I do. I've never allowed anybody to make me feel like I'm not doing enough because I know I am, you know? But I do wish things were different for sure, And so when I see my friends and my staff, or I'm sorry, my staff has great family too, but my students who have a great family like support
Support.
system, I'm
Yeah.
like, wow, you need to like cherish that. You really have to cherish that because not a lot of people get that. For me, family, it's a tough situation, at least for me. But the thing is what I've learned in my healing journey, because I've done a lot of healing over the last like 15 years. And what family wants best for you is to stay with them, right? Like that's how we are wired as primal humans,
Correct.
to stay with the family, to stay with the tribe. So they're going to try to keep you with them. And I get it, but at the same time, it's like it's a disservice to me. It's not doing me any good to stay safe. And I understand we want to stay safe because, the paycheck, stay close to the family. But again, at the end of the day, sometimes they are the ones keeping you down. And it's unfortunate, that they don't support you in that sense, but um I think that, once you let go, you just have to let go. You have to surrender and be like, you know what? It is what it is. They want to keep me safe, but I know in my heart that this is what I want to do. You have to just trust that.
I think there's more out there at the end of the day, not just the family. You need to
Mhm.
walk out there and learn. You need to trip, fall, and get up.
Yeah,
Learn that process,
absolutely. Yeah.
embrace it, and
Yeah.
Sometimes you will not have help to give you a hand and pick you up,
Mhm.
so you need to know how to do that yourself,
Yeah,
motivate yourself,
for sure.
love yourself, carry yourself
Yeah.
properly at the end of the day.
So, I feel like not everybody was raised with, like, a mom who who got ready all the time, and I was. My mom loves looks, that's her thing, and so it I remember going through her makeup bag as a little girl. It was actually called a caboodle. It was like a box from the 90s, 80s, 90s. And I would go through her stuff, and I remember just loving what she had in there. And I was a little girl. I'm talking little, okay? And I remember taking this white eyeliner and putting it all over my entire eyelid, and then I put eyeshadow on top and made it brighter. Being so little, like, you shouldn't know stuff like that. This is before the internet. There was no internet at this time. So naturally, this always it came very naturally to me all the time. But I feel like makeup for women is a rite of passage. Like, you're growing up, you're able to look, like yourself, but a little better. And it helps us to feel better. Like, I don't know, when I'm having a shitty day, I'm like, let me do my makeup. Yeah, you feel so much better when, I don't know, for me, I feel much better when I have my makeup on. And that's not to say that, like, I turn into a different person. Because when I was talking to you guys earlier, I didn't have makeup on, and I'm like, da 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 da, whatever. It's not like I changed who I am, and I think that that is something in itself that's a little bit different when people take it se pasan and, like, they just think they're the shit with all this makeup on, but then you take it off and they're like, like, no, that's weird. Like, it helps you to grow that confidence.
Correct.
So confidence is like a muscle. You have to continuously, like, work at growing it, and you'll be confident with or without makeup,
Correct.
you know? If I were to change anything, I feel like I would have wanted to maybe start putting myself out there sooner, stop doubting myself, actually be comfortable with being on the camera, because I do feel like this has helped me grow a lot. Because this is how I am with my students. Exactly how I'm talking to you right now. This is who I am. This is not like a front. And so when people see that, I feel like they resonate more with me. They're like, "Oh, she's not," because in my brain and what I've experienced with students, they're very nervous around me at first, and then they realize I'm one of them, and they're like, "Oh, this girl's actually really cool." And so I think that that's what I would have changed from the jump, just so more people would trust us a little bit faster. Like I said, it's been slower because I didn't put myself out there very quickly. So that's what I would have changed about the business. For the most part, here at Glow, we teach people how to do makeup for special events and not necessarily cater to how everybody else does their makeup. It's more like, this is a luxury service. We're doing your makeup our way because at the end of the day, you're sitting in my chair because you want to look different,
Correct.
not because you want to do your makeup just like you did it yesterday.
Plus, you're
So,
professional. You know
yeah.
what is best for the skin
Yeah.
and the
Pictures.
tone and all that, right?
Solo, yeah, for everything. Pictures, video, like all that stuff's important. And you have to know how to put it on
If
for everything.
anybody of youth that are watching the video, if they want to reach out to you, what would be the best way to reach out to you? Want to be part of the
Yeah.
classes, get to know you more, all of the above.
Instagram.
Instagram.
Yeah, Instagram is like usually where we are most active. And then our phone number's on there, the website's on there, all that stuff. Yeah.
Okay.
We're by appointment only though, so. Oh, at Glow MUAS. Yes. So the thing is with makeup is that a lot of times everybody is looking on YouTube and TikTok, and they're just going with what they see. And in reality, if you don't know skin tone, skin type, what type of makeup works best for your skin, like, I'm going to give you an example. For me, I'm in my late 30s. I can't use the stuff that I was using in my 20s. I look crazy. I look old. I look so old with my stuff from my 20s. So, what I have to do is I have to use more radiant makeup, which is more dewy. Yeah. No, I have to use this stuff that's like glowy, like J-Lo. J-Lo looks like great, right?
Yeah.
I have to use the same stuff because I'm like, if I tone it down and well, not even tone it down, if I put matte makeup on, which is more dry, me salen las
Hmm.
arrugas. And I'm like, I'm not 37. A lot of makeup is for everybody. You just have to know what product works best. Like, for example, there's NARS makeup and they have a radiant makeup for more dewy, and then they have the matte stuff, which is more for like the younger girls who are oily or who have the acne skin. If you have the acne skin, you want it to be more matte because if you have the dewy stuff, it actually accentuates the bumps on the face. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
a science. There's a science behind what we do. Yeah, absolutely.
Is there any advice you want to give the young girls or anybody that are using aftermarket makeup that can
Mm,
affect their skin, their lips?
yeah.
I mean, we're seeing a lot of things out there now that it
Oh,
comes
yeah.
from, you
From
know,
using cheap makeup.
using cheap makeup,
Yeah.
and that affects at the long run
Yeah.
to their faces.
I definitely recommend getting stuff from actual stores and not the callejones,
Hmm.
because a lot of that stuff is like fake and it
Correct.
comes from China and we don't know what it's in there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so a lot of the stuff that's made here is obviously tested and,
It's
all that
fully
stuff.
trusted at the end of
Yeah,
the day.
definitely. Yeah,
Yeah.
because you can't sell stuff like in the big stores that is not tested. It all has to be like run through a lab and
Correct.
stuff.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes, I've seen a lot of documentaries. Like you stated, there are people that go out in callejones and start buying makeup only because it has a name brand, but it's not actual.
It's not real.
It's not
Yeah.
real, and
Mhm.
end up backfiring
Yeah.
so drastically deformed.
Yeah. Their skin starts, getting, like, weird. No, I wouldn't trust, like I'm not even gonna name stuff, but if it comes from China, don't trust it.
There you go.
Yeah,
Mac is the one.
MAC is really good, NARS is really good, there's a lot of different brands that are out right now. One Size, Huda Beauty, all of that stuff is really great, yeah. Mhm.
Nice.
So, makeup has taken me on trips, on, just so many different opportunities, like, just one example, I have a girl who I did her wedding. She was my first wedding ever I ever did at, like, 19 years old. Still talk to her till this day. Went with her through her wedding, her baby shower, everything in life, right? Which I love that. Like, I get to follow not follow people like that, but they call me for their most special occasions, which I love, right? And then I've, had the opportunity of, like, I do Lisa's makeup pretty often, the singer from the '80s. She's
Yeah.
super cool. I go with her team. They've flown me out to, like, Vegas and, Sacramento and a couple different places to tour with her. So, I love that.
They
But
reach out to you privately and they're like, hey,
yeah,
we need you for a couple of days here.
yeah. I reached out to them a couple years ago
Hmm.
and I was like, "Hey, I'm going to this concert. I'm going to your concert. Like, I want to do your makeup for free. Like, let me do it." And they were like, "Let me call this girl, make sure she's not weirdo?" And then yeah, I did her makeup. I was like freaking shaking and like, oh my God, it was so scary. But she's like, I'm nervous too. And she's just so sweet. So I've been able to do some celebrities and makeup is it has given me a lot of great connections, I feel like, just in life in general.
Correct. And I
Yeah.
think taking that steps that you just stated as messaging someone and let them know, hey, let me do something for free so they can see how you work, who you are. Just
Absolutely.
think outside the box and do something different. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel that that takes you a lot and
Yeah.
takes a lot at the end of the day.
When
Courage.
yeah. When I was a young makeup artist, I was 19, I used to assist this makeup artist. He's really big. He does like Madonna, Britney Spears, like huge, right? Huge makeup artist. And he would pay me $100 a day for like 15, 16-hour days. But I didn't give a shit because I was like,
Holy
I want
shit.
to do this. I was working on JC Penney photo shoots. I was working on big hair brand companies, some Disney kids, I'm not going to name the ones that I worked with, but just he just took me on such great stuff. And I think that that's really important to state. A lot of people think coming to a school they're going to jump right away and start doing celebrities and stuff.
Mhm.
But at the end of the day, you actually have to pay your dues. You
True.
have to pay your dues and you may be asked to work for free, but oh my God, trust me, like that is going to open so many more doors. I've had girls tell me, I'm not going to work at Mac for X amount. And I'm like, okay, well, I mean, you're getting great experience. Some people are just not about that, which I think it's a younger generation thing. If I'm not lying, sorry, guys. But I just personally feel like when you're doing stuff like out of love, you get so much more in return versus just trying to do a transaction.
Correct.
Yeah.
You need to embrace the process as well. You know, everything takes a process.
Yeah.
Learning and make sure
Mhm.
your idea, maybe somebody has different idea, it can work out as well.
Mhm.
So overall, just take the advice and make sure that it's um, take the right journey. Yeah. Any big advice that you want to give the youth?
No.
Stop dating
Me?
fucking right, bro.
No. Don't listen to your fucking parents. Just kidding.
Hey,
Okay. Yeah, actually I do want to say I think advice that I would share to the youth is figure out who you are and what you want to do before you make any really big life decisions like having a kid. I feel like I have girls that constantly tell me, like younger girls, 20, 21, I want to be like you when I grow up. I want to be like you when I grow up. And I'm like, yeah, that's amazing, but at the end of the day, like we are women, we're going to have kids and all that stuff. You really need to figure out if you want to have kids young or you want to have kids a little later. I think that's important because that kid is going to take away from you being able to do makeup and being able to open a business, right? And for me, I feel like when you have a child, it's harder to build that business. So if you get financially established first, then you can go ahead and have
I
your
think that
kid.
would be the proper way to address it.
Yeah.
Being established
Yeah.
correctly. We gotta give up something to gain something.
Yes.
You know.
Right.
And
And we have to stop like that that thought process of like being Latino and having kids young. Like cuz then that sets you up for that generational like struggle.
correct.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I think that that's the advice I would give to young girls.
That's true. I mean, it's not wrong. Everybody's different.
Yeah.
But
Oh, for sure.
if you want to have a business like yourself and all of
Mhm.
that, we gotta give up something to gain something. That will be
Absolutely.
one of them at the end of the day,
Yeah.
or any business at all whatsoever.
Any business,
Whatever
yeah.
you feel you want to do at the end of the day,
Yeah.
and make sure that you love it, not like it. Make sure you're comfortable with it and safe.
Yeah.
All right. With that being said, Roxy, thank you for having us
Of course.
on your
Thank you
premises.
so much.
Highly appreciate it.
Of course.
And at the end of the day, people, like I always say, people will respect you as much as you respect yourself. Thank you for your time. See you on the next one.